Welcome to a broadcast of the recent Lorain County Commissioners' General Meeting. Unless otherwise announced, meetings are held Wednesday morning at the Administration Building, 226 Middle Avenue, 4th floor, downtown Elyria. These are public meetings and you are invited to attend. Agendas are posted prior to the meeting at www.loraincounty.us. Click on Departments to see the Commissioners page, then click on View Agenda.
Good morning. Can we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the February 5th meeting of the Lorain County Board of Commissioners, and that was a great pledge. Nice to have so many people in the room this morning. Commissioner Lundy has our word of the day.
Yeah, our inspirational word: in the end, people appreciate frankness more than flattery.
And we have our dog from the Lorain County Dog Kennel from our dog warden, Tim Pilblad.
Good morning. Today we have about a year-old, maybe a Doberman Shepherd mix. We got a call yesterday to the school bus stop that there was a vicious dog trying to get on the bus. He's about a year old. We're thinking he's in kennel number 9, available on Saturday. So come get this vicious one.
He wants to stay and hang out with everybody. Look. Nope, he doesn't want to. Madam Clerk?
Under Resolutions, number 1, investments.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Ms. Sweda.
Aye.
Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Appropriations.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Ms. Sweda.
Aye.
Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Transfers.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Ms. Sweda.
Aye.
Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Advances and repayments.
There weren't any.
Yeah.
Did you add something?
That one that you just signed.
Oh, that
yes.
was, okay.
Yes.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Ms. Sweda.
Aye.
Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Requisitions.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Ms. Sweda.
Aye.
Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Travel.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Ms. Sweda.
Aye.
Mr. Lundy. Bills.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Ms. Sweda.
Aye.
Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Authorize various personnel actions as indicated on this.
Also, beginning the process of getting ready for the labor negotiations with the steelworkers, one of the bargaining units, and so I want to talk to you about that. And purchase of real estate. All three of those topics allowable under the Sunshine Act for executive session discussions. So that's at the conclusion of our regular board meeting. We go into executive session and we discuss those matters that I've outlined. Thank you.
Thank you.
Approve and waive the reading of the minutes of January 29th.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Ms. Sweda.
Aye.
Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Authorize payment of $1,000 Boyer & Cool Home for Funerals, Lorain, for indigent veteran Timothy Earl Callahan, Avon Lake, in accordance with the ORC 5901.25.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Ms. Sweda.
Aye.
Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Community Development, this amount is going to change from $5,000 to $20,000. Authorize administrator to enter in a contract with GT Environmental, Inc. in the amount of $20,000 for the procurement assistance preparing a $500,000 grant application to ODSA for environmental remediation services for qualified abandoned gas stations. 6 RFQs were received on January 3rd.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
You said it's changing from 5,000 to 20,000? Is there a reason for the change?
Yes, there's no, we needed to do additional environmental work to be able to apply for the grant. Don's here, he can speak to it. You know, unfortunately, that wasn't reflected in the initial proposal. The initial proposal was simply going to be working on the writing of the grant, but now we have to do additional work to qualify the site. So go ahead, Don.
Yesterday, I'd had a conversation with Michael Greenberg, and in order to submit the grant, you do have to demonstrate the contamination. And while we do have environmentals done, a phase 1 is required, and those are only good for about 6 months at most. Ours is several years old, so they're going to need to update that, as well as potentially do a little bit of investigation to prove the contamination is still there. These costs can be recouped if the grant is awarded, so it's something that we need to put out, but if we're awarded the grant, we can recoup some of those costs.
And just like when we do engineering on projects, we have to get all the work done to get in line. This will be good for a couple years, but the environmentals, they only last for a few.
Right.
So hopefully within the next year, 2 or 3, we're not unsuccessful this time, we'll be continuing to apply. So we'll be able to reuse the work from here. Unfortunately, it's a necessary evil to get in line for the grant.
And this is for E&L Transport over on Baumhart?
No, unfortunately, we still have not been able to convince the state to go after that, but we do have a grant pending with US EPA to clean that up. And that is also, we're hopeful that we'll hear something in June to the good. If not, we'll go right back at it again. This is likely, there was a gas station in Oberlin that had a release. Ohio EPA came in and pulled out 1 of 3 tanks, the worst of the worst. There's still 2 tanks in the ground in contamination, and they've been working with both the land bank in conversations as well as the county and the city to get this cleaned up and to repurpose the property for redevelopment.
That's that Oberlin group down there, right?
Right.
Off the top of my head, I forget. They come up with groups quite a bit down there. But this has been a project they've been working on now, I want to say 3 or 4 years.
Right.
To repurpose that site where the gas station was.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think for the purpose of our viewers at home and for the Leadership Lorain County group we have here today, I think it's important for them to learn about all the responsibilities that we have in government and how we try to clean up what's the sins of the past, I guess, that are left behind. And so this is an ongoing issue with removing old storage tanks, not just here in Lorain County, but across Ohio.
Right. This is still a relatively new grant program that the state had developed, and they're continuing to tweak it. In fact, they have just come out of tweaking it again, and this is why we're going after the fund so hard now, is we actually have an ability to access these funds again, whereas previously when we've tried to make application, the state was flat out no. Now they've changed their regulation to allow us to be competitive and to be eligible to apply. So, and this is part of the reason that raised GT Environmental through the procurement process, was they had recognized it and are ready to make sure that our application gets full consideration.
Yeah, because it's difficult to redevelop or repurpose these properties when you've got a tank or a leaking tank in the ground.
You can't ask people to invest money and not know when to stop writing checks and how long it's going to take. You need to make it certain for the developer, for the end user, so that they know they will open on such and such a time. They will be able to have a product at such and such a time. It can't be an unknown.
Yep. Good.
Great.
Yep. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Don.
Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Ms. Sweda.
Aye.
Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Amendment Resolution 19-818, adopted December 18, 2019, authorizing the acceptance of proposals for professional consulting services for the Lorain County Building Department. Amendment is to reflect Inspection Solutions LLC is from Chesterland, Ohio, not Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
So moved?
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Ms. Sweda.
Aye.
Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Solid Waste, enter into contract with Lorain County Public Health in the amount of $170,000 for the calendar year 2020.
So moved?
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Ms. Sweda.
Aye.
Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Clerk of Court approved the First Amendment to Master Agreement with Pioneer Technology Group, LLC, for their jury mark project scope plan language. This does not affect the previous pricing.
So moved?
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Ms. Sweda.
Aye.
Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Under the engineer, advertised for bids for West Road Bridge 1427 replacement project in Pittsfield Township. Notice in Chronicle on February 7th and 14th, and open at 2 p.m. on February 25th.
So moved?
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Ms. Sweda.
Aye.
Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Authorize 25% freeze thaw load limit reduction on Biggs Road State Route 301 to Indian Hollow Road in LaGrange Township. The thaw and moisture period is in accordance with the ORC 5577.07, effective February 1st, 2020 through May 1st, 2020.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
I don't think we're going to have a freeze this year.
That'd be nice.
Coming tonight.
Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Ms. Sweda.
Aye.
Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Amendment Resolution 2056, adopted January 22nd, 2020, approving and entering in contract with Geosci Berea in the amount of $50,000 for ongoing engineering inspection and materials testing fees for the continuing construction of Red Fern Trail subdivision by Wilkinson Farms LLC, Columbia Township. Amendment is to reflect clarification and funding sources.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Ms. Sweda.
Aye.
Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Approve and enter in a professional surveying services contract with Raffner A. Ltd. in the amount of not to exceed $40,000 to assist with professional surveying services associated with road, bridge, and ditch projects be paid from the engineer project account and authorize the engineer to execute on behalf of the board.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Ms. Sweda.
Aye.
Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Approve final change order on underground utilities Monroeville in the amount of $306,243.78 for the Cooper Foster Park Road project in the cities of Lorain and Amherst. Project was funded through NOACA and respective cities and will be paid by engineer project account and reimbursed by those cities.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Ms. Sweda.
Aye.
Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Public comment.
Anybody wishing to address the board this morning? If you do, just come up to either microphone. You get 3 minutes and just tell us your name and where you're from, if you're interested.
Leadership, want to tell us what they're working on?
Yeah, anybody from the main group of Leadership Lorain County want to talk about why you guys are here today? No? Okay. Don't all run up at once.
Crickets.
Well, there was no morning comedy show available downtown, so they came here.
Yeah. All right, last chance.
Mr. Cortez.
Let's dance. No. Welcome to everybody. We only get to see them about once a year when they visit, so it's always nice. I want to add one thing to the executive session. We do have one pending legal matter that we need to talk about. I don't know if Counselor has any more. He probably got us into trouble somewhere. He always does. So other than that, I will yield to Counsel. Thank you.
Mr. Ennis.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
No, actually,
No folders.
Hal's just happy because I got the microphone on the right side, so, which is the left side. So, hey, Hal. I do have one matter of pending litigation. It's probably the same one Jim wants to talk to you about, but we need to discuss that in the executive session. And no, we do not have any new litigation.
Good.
So.
Nice.
Commissioners report.
Well, first, I guess I'd like to welcome the Leadership Lorain County group to our meeting this morning. I understand they have a full schedule of places they're going to be touring and learning about. And told my wife this morning when I was going out the door that you folks were going to be here. And she, of course, reminded me that her class was the best class, 2010. I'm sure you have a different opinion on that one. Every class does. But I said, well, I'm sure I won't get agreement with that. But once again, I'll tell everybody that you think your class is the best class, the 2010 class. So, but it's a great program, and can't say enough good things about it. And thank you to all the participants too. Obviously, you've been identified as leaders in your companies and organizations, and we're always here to work with you. We certainly enjoyed the opportunity to meet with you earlier. And as I said before, if you have follow-up questions or concerns, feel free to email us or call our offices, and we can always catch up and elaborate a little bit more. Let's see, last week we had another meeting for our Complete Count Committee. This is the census year, Census 2020, as we continue to get the word out about please participating in the census. It has a major impact on the federal dollars that come back to Lorain County. It's an average of $1,200 per person. So those who go uncounted, that's $1,200 times 10. And that's a lot of money that we lose per person. So we got to make sure everybody's counted, especially children, newborns up to like age 5 for some reason. That seems to be a big undercount section. once again, great response to our complete count committee gathering. I think our first meeting we had about 70. I think we were upwards of over 60 maybe for the second one, and we continue to hold those meetings. And in fact, we're on the radar screen now with the National Census Bureau that our complete count committee has been generating so much activity that the national director actually came in and paid us a visit and had a town hall. And that was last Friday. Steve Dillingham, a real nice guy, as I said, somebody who normally is known as a statistician, isn't somebody that you think would have a lot of personality, be the guy in the corner of the room, in the cubicle, and doesn't really deal much with people. But anyhow, just a great personality and a real down-to-earth guy, and I'm glad that he's heading up this national initiative. And we want to thank Lorain County Community College. They have been amazing. Always hosting these meetings, and hosted a last-minute arrangement that we had to make when we found out less than 48 hours in advance that the national director was coming in. But he was quite impressed by the college and its staff and all the work that's being done on the census. Also had the opportunity to attend the American Spiritual Ensemble at Stocker Center at Lorain County Community College on Monday night. That was absolutely amazing. And, if you haven't learned about the special programs that are offered at Stocker at the community college, the level of entertainment is just off the charts, and just a great response to the venue there that evening. And yesterday was in Cleveland for about a 2-hour meeting with the Northeast Ohio Area-Wide Coordinating Agency, talking about connectivity along our lakefront communities, and the mayors of Avon Lake, Sheffield Lake, Vermilion, Lorain, in attendance for that meeting as we talk about how we can generate more activity along our lakefront, how we can develop different concepts along the lakefront that will bring people to our lakefront, and also how we improve transportation, whether it be bike trails, walking trails, other modal forms of transportation along the lakefront. So very productive meeting, and you'll be hearing more about that in the future as we continue our Lakefront Lorain County initiative. And I understand our president was in Columbus hobnobbing with some important people yesterday.
Well, last Wednesday, we all attended the Democrat Executive Committee meeting at Lorain County Community College, another event at the college. It was voted on unanimously to endorse the LCC levy that will be on the ballot on March 17th. It's issue 17, so remember to get out there and vote on or before 17, and yes, on 17. A few of us went over to the newly opened doghouse across the street for a bite to eat, and I thought it was good. It was a good experience. Saturday morning, Commissioner Sweda and I went to the new Ariel Hotel downtown Broadway for Lollipops grand opening, and I was kind of embarrassed to say I thought Lollipops was actually candy. It's not. It's a cute store. It has really nice things in there. So Lolly Bancic named it Lollipops after her name. So congratulations to her. As Commissioner Lundy said, yesterday I was down in Columbus hobnobbing with the governor, and this is the first time I've ever been in the governor's office, so it was really a cool experience. I felt like a little kid on a field trip. But there was about 8 county commissioners that went from the County Commissioners Association. We got only a half an hour, so we didn't get to talk a lot about some of the initiatives that we'd like to see happen. But I did bring up our land bank. We've demolished about 600 houses over the course of a few years, and trying to find a way to put those pieces of property back into productive use by maybe some infill housing or some other form of making that happen. So congratulations to the Chiefs for winning the Super Bowl. It was exciting. It's a good time. So I was rooting for them because they hadn't won in so many years. So congratulations. And that's the end of my report.
Okay. Well, good morning to everyone, especially Leadership Lorain County. I have a special affection for the organization this year because two very dear friends of mine are recipients of one of the awards this year, David and Nui Nodell. And I've known David Nodell since high school. So I'm very excited to see them being recognized, as well as all the other recipients this year. The complete count committee meeting that was held prior to the national director's attendance on Friday was especially effective because what we've started to do is to break into subcommittees now. So we have schools, faith-based, government, nonprofits. What are some of the other categories, Commissioner Lundy?
Well, yeah, the faith-based, we have the libraries, we have
Libraries.
labor, that's another one. And
Right.
then we actually broke them down into various communities. So we've got the villages and the townships, we have the suburban committees, communities we call that. We have Lorain, Oberlin, Elyria. And then what happens is the churches, the libraries, the schools, those then all filter through their respective communities or respective regions. So I think it's a good structure in place.
So the Urban League told me they already have their first meeting scheduled,
Good.
which is where I was going. Everybody's enthused, and it is so important. If you hear of folks who are puzzled or concerned about the census, we need to urge them to make sure. There are simple ways to register. They can do it by mail. They can do it by telephone, or they can do it electronically online. So it's simple. It's just 9 questions. Does not ask a citizenship question, and it is critical to all of us as residents, because that's how our funding will be dictated for the next 10 years. We don't get a do-over. So please make sure you do your part to see that anyone you know is completing the census forms. On Saturday, we did attend Lolly Bansic's ribbon cutting. Her shop is delightful. If you have time, stop into Ariel. They also are opening a bakery this week, or a cake shop / bakery that'll be opening this week. You get to see the bar that just opened, which is called Game On. And I understand that for Friday's grand opening, Game On was filled to capacity before 8 o'clock. Couldn't even accept any more folks. So it's kind of exciting to see all of that going on. And the renovations are still underway, but they're making do and working around the dust.
Sparrows and Zellick and like a lot of
A lot of little shops will be in there. Let's see. And then on Saturday evening, early evening, I attended Pete Soto Chili Cook-Off at LCC. That is an annual event that I swear I thought everyone in Lorain County was in the building. It was that packed. But just a great fundraiser. Everybody has a lot of fun there. It started at 5. I got there about 10 to 5 and could hardly find parking. So they had overflow served in the second floor of LCC Spitzer Center, the main floor, around the hallways. Wow. It was quite an event. So that was fun to see. After that event, I did attend the Amherst Athletic Hall of Fame inductees meeting at Marion L. Still High School, where my dear friend Cookie McCloda was inducted, as well as a prior teacher and coach of mine, Mr. Norris Smith. Monday evening was the American Spiritual Ensemble. It was just awesome. Anybody who has an opportunity to see them perform needs to take the time to do so. They were incredible. And yesterday afternoon, I had the privilege of meeting with Mr. William Hurley, who heads We Care, We Share at 1888 East 31st in Lorain. And he said that, his organization is one of those really well-kept secrets, and they wish it wasn't. He conducts a food pantry 2 days a week and a clothing bank as well on the day in between. And it's such a well-run facility. They grow a lot of the food in little greenhouses that are adjacent to their building. And he's looking for expansion opportunities, grant opportunities, anything that will enable him to add that added piece of job training or skills training, so that folks aren't constantly on the treadmill of assistance, but able to take that next step out into the community and perhaps become gainfully employed and find skills that they can utilize to get themselves out of the difficult situations they are currently in. Last reminder, I know it's been mentioned, 17 on 17. LCC is a huge contributor to both our economic growth, our educational growth of our students, the diversion of college, or not diversion, but the inclusion of college credits for high school students. We're saving families. Gosh, I don't know the number. Do you?
It's a couple $1 million.
Couple $1 million in tuition before they ever get to their first year of college. And I know that every year the number increases for students who are graduating from high school and simultaneously earning an associate's degree without ever having to attend school or advanced education outside of high school. So 17 on 17, vote yes. It's a 10-year renewal with a small bump for that comes out to about $1.46 per $100,000 in property value. We can't afford not to renew that. Thank you.
Correspondence?
I move the reading be waived.
I'll second.
Discussion? Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Ms. Sweda?
Aye.
Mr. Lundy.
Anything else?
Nope, not on my agenda.
Okay, motion to go into executive session as outlined. Oh, you have something?
I just wanted, if the people here are going to be here for another 5 minutes, the most important personage in Lorain County government, Farley the Wonder Dog, is going to be over here. You can stick around for 5 minutes, you'll get a chance.
They got to meet
Farley.
Casey. So now I was telling some of them that the prosecutor's office also has an actual true therapy dog. so,
Working dog.
Yeah.
And Casey,
I saw Casey going crazy.
he did, you know, when they decided to allow us each to have a little time to speak, he wanted to go first.
Yeah.
He seized the opportunity.
He did. Well, thank you all for being here today. I really appreciated all the questions this morning and didn't hit us too hard with anything, that we couldn't answer. So if you do have additional questions, you could email any one of us and we'll be sure to get back to you on that. So besides that, I make a motion to adjourn or make a motion to go in executive session as outlined by the administrator and assistant county prosecutor.
I'll second.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Ms. Sweda?
Aye.
Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
This has been a broadcast of the recent Lorain County Commissioners' General Meeting. Unless otherwise announced, meetings are held Wednesday morning at 9:30 at the Administration Building, 226 Middle Avenue, 4th floor, downtown Elyria. These are public meetings, and you are invited to attend. Agendas are posted prior to the meeting at www.loraincounty.us. Click on Departments to see the Commissioners page, then click on View Agenda for a printable copy of the agenda.